When you get lost in the woods, you are only lost because you don't know the way back, do you? You don't know the way out. So where do you go? You look around, all you see is more and more forest. You don't know where to go. How do you know you're going in the right direction anymore? That's what it feels like to be lost. And sometimes when you're lost like that, you're like, I don't care where I end up so long as it's civilization. I remember an old Twilight Zone where it was like that, where they were lost. And it's just, man, they're not trying to find home or the way. They're just trying to find civilization. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Alive about the European soccer team who got caught up in these remote mountains in the snow, and they ended up having to, eat each other to stay alive. But when they tried to get out of there, because nobody was looking for them, they didn't know whether the direction they were going was right or not. They just were hoping to find civilization. So I don't know where you are. Are you trying to find your way back? Are you trying to find your way forward? Or are you just trying to find a way out? Sometimes it can be so bad, you just need to find civilization again. Other times, you're just trying to get back to where things made sense. Other times, you're like, I feel lost. I don't want to go back. I don't want to land just anywhere. I want to know where I need to go. I want to know the next season for my life. I want to know where I should be headed. Well, there's all sorts of ways for you to figure that out, man. It might be, again, as I said in the last episode, a relationship. It might be that you've been affected deeply because of a broken relationship. It might be business or a job that you've been affected in, and you're like, I don't know which way to go. I don't know the way forward. That's why I said you have to pay very close attention to your gifts, talents, and abilities, that you, in every way, as you move forward, that you continue to refine your focus more and more around the things that you do well, the things that you're interested in, the things that you are proficient in. And if it's a relationship, that you're able to have the principles in mind that govern what a relationship is all about to begin with, and therefore how it should move forward. Because a lot of people get lost in these situations because they hear me or someone else talk about it and they want to save their relationship, but that other person is just not participating. That other person is just not pulling their end. Well, what do? You stay together for the kids. And well, sometimes, man, again, you have to step back and say, well, let me look at the larger picture. What is a relationship for? Is there a purpose for it? Because it may be that our starting point for what we believe about relationships is faulty. We might have just fallen for the old Romeo and Juliet thing, man. It was falling in and out of love. People do that all the time. Therefore, relationships are so disposable. But if you understand that relationships have more than just a romantic value, then it may change the way that you look at it. So, for example, a family is a way of survival. I've talked about this in other videos. Families are a way of economic survival. They're very practical. The purpose of a family throughout history was not this modern romantic comedy horse shit that we see on television and movies. The ancient model was all about survival. It was all about dynasty. It was all about empire. It was all about tribe. This is how you stayed alive. You were considered to be less than if you weren't married. You were considered less than if you didn't have kids. Now, we exalt you if you're not married. We exalt you if you don't have kids. It was survival for past generations. So in this modern age, when everything is so cheap and plastic, of course, relationships are going to suffer because you don't have that sense of purpose. You don't have the framework to understand what a relationship should be for. So this gets back to your philosophy of life. This gets back to your morality. Your morality. What do you believe is the purpose of relationships? For me personally, I do not buy into the Romeo and Juliet model. I believe in love. I believe in romance. I believe in sex. I believe in all of that stuff. More of it. The more, the better. However, it is secondary to the larger thing, which is my empire, my tribe. I believe the family is the fundamental institution of society. Not the government, not religion, not a corporation, nothing like that. Not a nation, Nothing like that. They are secondary. They are all secondary. The primary institution is this organic one, the family. Without the family, we have nothing else. The strength of the family is so important. So when you understand that, now when you see your relationship being challenged, well, now you're going to look at it through different eyes. And you're going to say, okay, this other person in my life, they're not participating emotionally. That's a bad thing. They're therefore not participating romantically. That's a bad thing. And they don't understand the larger purpose that this family's all about. It's just somewhere for them to sleep and piddle around and do their thing, work on their car or hang out with their girlfriends or whatever, get their food, and they're out of there back to work, living their life. Well, if that's the case, absolutely. You now have a philosophical and moral problem at hand, and you need to sit down and talk to that person and go over what the family's all about and what your expectations are long term. Grandchildren and great-grandchildren and the whole 9 yards. That matters to me. It sure as hell matters to me. And so if that person that I'm with doesn't understand that, I'm not going to be with that person. Period. Because I can salvage something with my kids, and there's someone else out there who's going to believe in the vision. They're going to believe in that. And, you can then build these new families and make something out of it. And sometimes you have to do that. Other times that person can hear all this and it can scare the hell out of them. And they say, no, I don't want to lose. No, I want to be a part of this. It's my fault. Let me participate. Let's go to counseling. Let's do what we can. And you find your way forward out of that relationship. The relationship is not the primary thing. It's the purpose the relationship serves that is the primary thing. You got to get that freaking question answered now. Get it answered now. Otherwise, the relationship is doomed. Can you dig that? I hope you can. This is CJ the Metal Motivator. And remember, in whatever you do, don't suck. Metal up.